Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dokkan Battle video, and I have been doing these videos where after a big live stream I sort of go over and recap everything that we got during the stream, and these videos seem to have been doing pretty well. You guys seem to really like these. I did one for the Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo one, and I also did one for the second Gohan Beast shenanigans that we got where we learned that you could not play as the boy. So I figured I'd do one for the 8th anniversary fan meetup. Now what I am going to do for this video is I'm actually going to take the footage of me going over this towards the end of my live stream, because we stream this live over on the main Dokkan Assets channel, although this is the main channel now. That one is technically the side channel, but I'm just so used to saying that that's what comes out. However, that is what you're going to see in just a few moments, of recapping all of the information from the live stream that we had today. I do want to apologize if my homie Kensei's mic, who was with me during the time, sounded a little bit wacky. He was having a little bit of mic shenanigans going on during the stream, so I apologize if any of that gets into the video. But I also like to give my thoughts on everything that we got for the anniversary, so I'm going to go over everything that we got with past Theo here in a moment, and then we're going to bring it back to me at the end sitting here, and I'll give you my thoughts on everything. So let's get into it. The speed battle is apparently going to be available for everybody after the fan meeting, which is interesting. This makes sense why we got those keys in the data download, right? Because obviously we got those speed battle keys in there that we had no idea what those were for. So they showed a timeline of like different major events in Dokkan history in terms of like character releases, right? Like the first Dokkan unit, or first Dokkan Fest rather, the first LR, right? First, you know, summonable LR, blah, 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 first Extreme Z Awakening, all that good stuff. They showed the timeline of last year, why they decided to pick these events specifically. I don't know, but apparently I guess this is what they thought was their big stuff of the year. Very interesting. So then they had the question and answer thing, which was really interesting, where they talked about, you know, why is Red Zone, you know, only 3 times, and I believe they said that, let's see, let's just go to all the answer ones, because he quote retweeted, oh no, he didn't get all of them with the answer. Okay, we might have to look at Minato's Twitter for that. 50% of the votes in the fan meetup had people say they prefer a defensive play style. Which, gee, I wonder why, considering, you know, modern events. They're unsure if they will implement a step beyond the current EZA system, but they will try to think of another way to approach it, since they don't just want to do the same thing twice, which is pretty interesting. They were asked if they plan on adding more quote-unquote unhype characters as Dokkan Fest LRs, right? Like, or Dokkan Fest or LRs, rather. You know, like Ginyu and Yamcha and stuff. Obviously, it's not just like Goku. They said yes, but they want to know what parts of the units we like, animations, kits, etc. So that's kind of interesting that they wanted to know that specifically. Another question asked about co-op, as there is no direct way to interact with people on the friends list. They state that this depends on how the individual user views their friends list, so they're requesting more feedback on how to handle it, which is good. We want them to at least be like, hey, it would be cool, you know, if, you know, you could think about it at least, even if they don't have it in mind right now. And on the ironic contrast, no pity system. They literally said, someone asked if there'll be a pity system, but they said, yeah, no, we have no plans for that, and the coin system is basically there, which, you know, is not a real pity system, as I'm sure all of you are aware, but that's what they think is fitting enough, so yay. They asked us how we feel about the World Tournament. They're considering various improvements, but they're unsure what to change if they do. So essentially, a maybe. They have character releases planned up until the 10th anniversary, which is really interesting. So that means this entire year is already planned out. That means we got to go to the Bandai offices and find the file. We need to see who the anniversary characters are. All of the responses from the surveys help them dictate who to release, which is an interesting thing to say. Last question of the stream, they were asked if they were planning on implementing a new version of a character who was previously released with good animations. They said it's possible to do with altered animations, which, I mean, we've seen that before with Majin, Vegeta, and Gohan, right? LR Gohan. So kind of makes sense that, you know, that would be the case. All right. So let's go back over to here now. So this was the 8th anniversary logo, which is pretty cool. Definitely very nice. Obviously, this is the free-to-play Goku that we saw and will also be the box trophy. Makes sense because most years the box trophy character has been, you know, the logo. So that makes sense. Obviously, the theme for this one is going to be Dragon Ball Z and GT, specifically the Spirit Bomb moments from each of these, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we saw the login bonus art, which is very nice, obviously with that Goku, that is the same one. They're really using that man like crazy. The 77 ticket banner, which they did state previously, I think it was in V-Jump that we learned about this, that the 77 ticket banner is going to be up until Zamasu, which is pretty interesting. So it'll be curious to see how they handle this on Global, because obviously Golden Frieza came out after Zamasu on Global, so tentative on how that will be. Be interesting to find out. These are new story events. Very, very cool. Definitely excited about this. Somebody in the comments here says Warrior raised on Earth skill orb, so I'm thinking that maybe that will be this event with the Goku with the power pole on his back, which would make sense. And then this one is Goku, where we are going to be able to get this new Hercule, which is pretty cool. Obviously, this is a pretty iconic pose for Hercule. So I'm actually pretty excited about that, I'm not going to lie. We have a new story event with Oob on the cover there. And interestingly enough, the LR is Bobbity, which is really interesting that this guy is going to somehow Dokkan Awaken into a LR. Obviously, it's unknown if this is going to be like, you know, a Bobbity LR or if it's going to be like a Boo LR, right? Something like that. We have no idea yet. And then they finally showed the actual characters. A Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta dual card, bro.
This is your anniversary.
This is insane, bro. What did you say?
That's anniversary. No, this is your anniversary.
Oh, yeah, bro. This is indeed my anniversary. Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 3, it's your anniversary, of course.
Bro, me and Ryudan eating right now, on God.
Mine was last year with the gods,
Yeah.
so I'm fine.
True, true. You passed the torch. You literally said it's your turn now.
Exactly.
We did win. We literally won, bro. We got the second LR as well, which of course, that is the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Super, super sick. I kind of like as well, too. I don't know if this was intentional on their part. I kind of get the feeling that it was. But I think we can kind of agree that, like, in both cards, the more hype, quote-unquote, form is, like, Super Saiyan 3 Goku and then Super Saiyan 4, right? So it's kind of cool that they gave the more hype form to the other character in the other art. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty neat too. A nice little like touch, you know, on top of everything. And then obviously we did get the confirmation that this is indeed a dual Dokkan Fest and not a carnival. As you can see here, these are the banners, which is insane. First of all, the SSR art for both of these look so good. But these banners are cracked. These banners are crazy.
I would say the Z banner is way better.
I think so too. I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Unless if they have like this Goku and Vegeta like the GT side like broken, then I guess you can go for them. But the Z side is way better.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I think so too. That is super cool. Yeah, so obviously, right, it's the gods and the monkeys for the 7th anniversaries. The gammas are there. The worldwide units are there. And then for the unfeatured unit, we are getting a Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Piccolo. And then for the GT side, we are getting a Nova and Ice dual card, which is so sick. This like easy, like I don't even have to see the rest of the banner. This is the best banner in Dokkan history. That it's literally like I don't need to see the rest of the characters. characters on here. They could literally put N Cybermen on the rest of the featured list, and this would be the best.
Plus, we don't know who is even in the banners. I mean, they're only showing these pictures now, but there's even more units in the banner.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure the blues, the year 5 units, could be in the banners as well.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, indicating, well, I'm not saying, but could get easy A during this year. So that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. Honestly, I'd be down for that. Hey, Arkman, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it, brother. Wow, that's insane. That is actually insane. Yeah, does it say how many I think that says 7 LRs, doesn't it?
7 LRs, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that says 7 Dokkan Fest LRs.
Well, that's what? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3 on each image.
There's 4 more LRs in the banner.
So plus the gammas in the unfeatured unit. So then that's 9
pretty
characters.
Sure. Probably Vegeta Blue, Gogeta Blue. I'm pretty sure the year 4s are back because the GT side.
Right.
Of course.
You know what? Maybe they'll... Well, I don't know if this will make sense. So maybe they'll put the 5th year LRs on the Boo banner and then the Super Saiyan 4s on the GT one.
Oh, true. They could probably do that.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Yeah, I think that overall, this is absolutely a fantastic anniversary. Our final piece that we got for information was that on the 29th, Air messed up on the year there. I'm sorry, my boy, Ripperoni Pepperoni.
True.
We have the live stream happening. By the way, I will be live reacting to this. Ken, say, will you be joining me? You can if you want. We might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Just, yeah, might as well.
So, yes. So, we will be back again for live streaming this. So, that will be cool. This will probably be where we get to see all of the characters' animations, where we get the kits. I'll take it from here. Thank you so much, Past Theo. I cannot tell you guys how incredibly excited I am for this anniversary. Like, I always love the Dokkan anniversaries. I don't think there's been a single anniversary where I haven't been a fan of the characters that they picked. I always think that they do a fantastic job at picking just the right characters for the job. I don't think there's ever been a time where there's been some characters that I've been like, man, that's really not that exciting. But gosh dang it, wow. I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Not only is Super Saiyan 3 my personal favorite form, so for me, this is definitely an absolute dub of an anniversary. I would never think in my whole life that we would ever get a anniversary Super Saiyan 3 Goku, so I am actually pretty excited about that. I'm not going to lie, and of course, pairing him with Vegeta is pretty cool. And of course, we have the GT Kid Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which I think is pretty unique, honestly, of a pick for sure. And I think that is something with both of these characters that is something that I really wanted to highlight with my thoughts on this. We're going to, funny enough, just use the thumbnail from the Mega Mix video because it just happens to have all of the anniversary characters on it, and it just works out well for the sake of this talking point. But with all of these anniversary characters, right? They're all really good, right? And they're all really good choices. And obviously, as Dokkan has sort of gone on in time, right? I think especially with the 7th anniversary LRs, right? Those were super unique. Obviously, Dual Gods and Dual Monkeys, right? That eventually went into Gogeta Blue and, of course, Blue before that. And then with Super Saiyan 4s, obviously, they went right to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I thought that that was a really unique pick, honestly, for last year. And even though the rest of these characters are all great, and I think they're definitely fitting for anniversary characters, right? I think those guys were definitely the most unique. And not to mention, right, with all of these characters, I mean, the Super Saiyan 4s have been it twice, right? Gogeta has been there, what, 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5 times, right? And obviously Vegeta's been there twice as well. Of course, it makes sense that the two new most powerful canonical forms for the Super Boys, right, Goku and Vegeta, not counting the manga, of course, are anniversary characters, so obviously that's pretty cool too. But I think in terms of just really unique choice and character picks and whatnot, excuse me, these guys are just really, really cool and super interesting choices. I think it's always awesome when we get more unique cards like this, because the thing is, when it comes to modern day Dokkan, right, we have so many characters in the game of all of the big boy forms, right, the staple forms, and of course there's always more cards that they could make of a bunch of those forms, but it's so awesome to me whenever we get something that is just a lot more different than this. I'm going to be very curious to see how their animations are. Obviously, you guys know that I will be doing a animation analysis video on these guys as soon as I possibly can, because I am absolutely just ecstatic to be able to get into the shenanigans for these guys, because I'm sure they're going to have some crazy stuff to make all of this work. Not to mention, of course, the whole anniversary is Spirit Bomb themed, so when it comes to these guys, they're also going to have the Spirit Bomb in there somewhere, so that will be really, really cool to see as well. On top of all of that, it was really nice to see with the stream, right? That not only for the actual live stream itself, which, by the way, if you want to watch that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. Obviously, like I said, I streamed the whole thing on the Dokkan Assets channel, so you can watch the VOD on there. But with the questions that were asked, not only did the Japanese fans do a fantastic job of asking the devs a bunch of questions, right? But a lot of these questions were some things that were on, I know, a lot of players' minds. Not only very interesting questions, but a lot of things that I know people have been wanting for a really long time, right? Like, they talked about how they're unsure if they're going to implement basically like an EZA2 because they don't want to do the same thing twice. You know, obviously people asked about co-op, which is something that people have been asking about for a while. The World Tournament, right? They talked about how, you know, implementing new versions of past characters. So it was really awesome to see the devs as well kind of, you know, not only just answer a lot of burning questions that fans have had for a while, but also it was really cool to see them acknowledge some of this stuff, because this is the kind of thing that we literally never get to hear them talk about, right? Like, they never talk about half of this stuff when it comes to information and, you know, community hot topics that we know that they know that we want it, or, you know, they're aware that it is something that has been widely talked about in the community. So it's really cool to see them acknowledge some of this stuff. Obviously, some of it is a bit of a shame, like they talked about how they're not going to be implementing any other kind of pity system like any other gacha game has a traditional pity system, because, you know, they're like, well, we have coins, so, you know, even though that is a very unfortunate answer for that one, right? It's at least cool to see them acknowledge all of this type of stuff and really tackle it head on, because obviously, you know, it's basically never been done before as far as I can remember. I mean, there may have been one or two times where they talk about some of the stuff that was in surveys. So that, you know, obviously is something they've acknowledged. But really going head on with this, it's really cool to see that obviously, you know, they're really acknowledging it now. The other interesting thing that I found, let me see if I can find it here, was the fact that they actually said that they apparently have, okay, so I can't find the actual tweet here, but they apparently have the next entire year, right? So this coming year, 2023, they have the entire year planned in terms of Dokkan Fest units, which I think is absolutely insane. They said based on the survey results that they have received over the year, right? Over last year, or I guess just in general, right? They didn't necessarily specify last year, but I'm assuming they would obviously take the most recent surveys. They have picked every single character that is going to be arriving this year in Dokkan Battle. So that's kind of insane to think that the entire year is planned. I don't know if that means that, you know, like the characters are already made, or the art is already made, or the super attacks are already made. Probably not. I'd have to guess that, you know, they kind of work on that stuff over time. Obviously, they're not just going to do all of that at once. It'll be way too much work for the dev team. But obviously having all of the characters planned throughout the year, that is kind of insane, to be honest with you, to think about that. Basically, our fate is sealed in terms of what characters we're going to be getting this year. So that'll be very interesting to see and kind of take a look back at that fact towards the end of the year. I will be very curious to look back on that and kind of see, this is what they had planned. You know, obviously the good, the bad, and everything in between. But definitely let me know your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. I love to hear it. Let me know if you enjoy these type of videos. I think that they're nice because I always love giving my thoughts on this type of stuff. I always think it's super interesting, and it's nice to have a bit of an outlet for it. And you guys, like I said, seem to enjoy these kind of recap videos, just basically talking about everything that happened in the live stream. Because, you know, I mean, obviously, then you don't have to watch a couple hour stream or whatever it is. You can just get it in bite-sized information. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. I'm so excited for the 8th anniversary, bro. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.